I'm like, okay, I'm Korean. I make kimchi. I make kimchi
You
here.
ferment it yourself?
Yeah,
For real?
make.
Where's the hole in the ground? No? Is this how kimchi is made? No. Welcome to the worst Asian podcast, where a couple Asian American millennials give you our shitty opinions on all things Asian. And my name is Linji. I'm here on location with my co-host Ben.
Hello.
How you doing today, Ben?
I'm good, man. Good morning.
I know you have your whole career in the restaurant industry. The closest I get to it, I did a couple years over at KFC.
That's a very good culinary establishment.
Almost Michelin star, almost. So
There you go.
I think we both have a lot to relate to our guest today.
We have a lot of credentials.
I would
here.
say I probably have a bit more to relate to because when I was at KFC, I was back of the house.
Oh, there you go, chef. I'm sorry about that, chef. You're right. My apologies.
On the podcast today, we have owner of Nowon in New York, Manhattan. You may have seen him also previously on the interwebs, featured on Munchies, Eaters, Gothamist, and I think you had a small blurb in the New York Times as well at some point.
Yes, he does.
Welcome to the podcast, chef and future podcaster himself, Jae Lee.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
What's up, man?
Thanks for having us at your place.
Thanks for traveling all this way. You got a really good setup here, I gotta say.
Thank you.
Wow, that's really impressive. I thought you'd be coming in like with more stuff, but how compact it is.
I'm not sure if you saw, but my backpack before looked kind of lean. It's like 40 pounds.
Yo, that thing, it's like, you know those like weighted vests and shit?
Yeah.
It's legit a fucking weighted vest.
Wow.
Yeah.
No fucking joke. It's at least 45 pounds.
And like that's cutting the leanness that we can.
These aren't mic stands. These are dumbbells, bro. These are like
Oh,
legit like
wow.
fucking...
You are looking to do your own podcast, right?
I am starting to record now. You know, I don't really have experience like with any podcast actually, but my social media manager, Archer, he loves doing creative things, and he pitched to me, hey, if you ever want to do like a podcast, you let me know. I'll set it all up for you, and you just do it. Let me know when you want to talk. So I thought about it for a few months, and I said, you know what? Let's just do it. You know, it's creative outlet. You know, nice to do something outside of your day to day, something new and exciting. So I love talking to people, and so I'm starting. It's called Takeaway with Jay podcast.
Oh.
Very clever. You want to tell the listeners what that's about?
Yeah, and I hope this podcast actually happens, because if I talk about it and it doesn't happen,
I'll cut this shit out.
all right, good.
I'll cut this part out. We're not going live at least a couple more weeks. So.
Yeah.
All right, so then I'm actually gonna read you my intro.
We're just doing a mashup right now.
It's like, yeah, I
That's
mean,
two podcasts.
I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking over
No,
this
go for it,
podcast.
Go for it.
Welcome to Takeaway with Jay podcast. My name is Jae Lee, a chef, restaurateur, and a takeout fanatic. Each episode, we will feature a special guest from the hospitality industry, ranging from owners, chefs, to bartenders. We will order food from their favorite takeout spot and break bread together. Expect food review, human conversation, and our takeaway. You ready? Let's order.
Hey.
That is a good concept. Ben and I do this shit, but we legit have no direct plan.
We don't have like another...
Well, let's see. I mean, it's ideas are easy. Executing
Yes,
is
yes.
hard. You know what I mean?
The execution, that's
Yeah,
99% of it.
Everybody has the greatest idea in the world, but
That's true.
executing is the really hard part.
But
so.
you got a couple episodes in the bank, though.
Got to the first one went way too long. Archer was like giving me the cut sign. Yo, it's way too long.
He's the producer of behind the scenes of the camera.
He's like thinking about all the hours he has to trim down. He's like, dude, this is.
I feel the anxiety. We were chatting before, and Jay told me his first episode ran 3 hours.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what your guy is going to have to do with a 3-hour episode.
I saw his face. He's such a nice guy. He's like, oh, it's okay. It's too long, but it's okay.
I have no life. Don't worry about
I
it. It's
saw his
okay.
facial expression, and I felt so bad. I'm like, all right, the next episode, you let me know when I'm halfway through so I can kind of divert the conversation. The second episode I recorded yesterday, actually, here. It went 1 hour long on the dot, and I was actually like happy with how that went.
1 hour is perfect because 1 hour with some, cut the dead air sometimes. You trim it down to maybe 40, 50 minutes. That's like perfect.
Yeah, there's like a science to it.
All right, let's get to your real job. For those that are interested, I'll have the links down below. Hopefully by the time that this episode releases, Jay will have his podcast officially live. All right, Jay, your day job, you're not a podcaster.
I'm not.
What are you exactly?
So I call myself an executive dishwasher. So honestly, like the chef is like a title that means really nothing to me. Honestly, This is the first. I opened Nowon in East Village. This is my third year now. We opened in November 2019, 3.5 months before pandemic.
Yeah.
Before opening this restaurant, I prided myself in being a chef. This title I wore on my chest so proud. But after opening my own business, that title doesn't mean as much to me anymore, you know? So how I thought I should lead previously to opening my own restaurant, I don't lead the same way anymore. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So I guess my official title is chef and owner of Nowon in East Village. But honestly, the title means nothing. I'm a restaurateur, small business owner.
The best dishwasher
I plug
in all
in.
of New York.
Dude, I could jump in any station and help anywhere. If you need, I'm here for the team, you know.
They yell service.
Because that's what it's about, right? Like when you're a small business owner of any kind in whatever industry, you just really need to get to the nitty gritty. Results are what matters.
Exactly.
For those that don't live in New York, you want to tell them what exactly your restaurant Nowon's about?
Yeah, so Nowon is a Korean American pocha. And pocha is basically a Korean version of gastropub. We're an eating and drinking place. My goal is to merge the two cultures of my cultures. I'm Korean, born in Korea, but raised in New York. And I wanted to bridge the two cultures together. So I showcase a lot of flavors from Korea, but done so in American dishes. For example, we have we have like 5 real classic dishes that really took off since my pop-up days. But one example is our smash burger. There's American cheese, is butter toasted on sesame seeded bun, but the sauce on it is kimchi mayo that we make in-house. Another example is tater tots, but we glaze it in honey butter, inspired by honey butter potato chips. We toss that also with homemade like seaweed seasoning, and we garnish it with flaky sea salt and labna, which is a yogurt cheese.
So
yeah, that sounds good. And we haven't had any food yet.
yeah.
So that's what we are, and we just got our full liquor license. So now we're making cocktails with liquor.
Like just got your full liquor
Congrats.
license?
Yeah, we had a beer and wine license previously, so we were able to serve beer, wine, and soju. But now we can serve cocktails made with spirits such as gin, vodka, tequila. So now we're building our beverage program, which is really exciting for me.
And that was super recently that you got that license?
Like last week.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
your eyes are like getting that big and shit.
For our long-time listeners out there, one quick side note. Obviously, those know that I am not drinking right now in 2020. But they will also be surprised to find out that Jay himself is also not drinking, and for much longer than I have.
Wait, when did you stop?
I lost the bet last year, so I started going dry in January 1st of this year.
Wait, oh, you...
This year? We're in
this year?
2022. Yeah.
Oh, you started this year.
Yeah.
You've been going much longer.
Yeah, I started January of 2020 last year. Wait, what was last year? 2020, right?
2021.
It was 2022 now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
watched your
see, I'm
20
getting
dishes.
lost in time.
Yeah,
I just want to stay in the past, you know? No, I quit last year, 2021, in January. So I've been dry for over a year now.
Props. I first found out about that because when we're doing some pre-recording research, I saw you did a recent article for Eater magazine.
Yes. Well, when that article came out, I had so many like messages, emails from like people across the U.S. They're like, "Hey, do you want to like join our like AA group? Like, do you need support?" Like, it was really, really amazing, you know. But honestly, though, I can like for myself, I didn't know that I would get that many messages. Honestly,
Yeah.
A lot of support.
a lot of support. It's really I'm blessed, honestly, because I don't get urges to like I need a shot. I don't get urges like that ever.
Also, you used to smoke cigarettes back then.
I did smoked a lot of cigarettes. Parliaments.
Right.
That was my cigarette.
Right.
Remember the three pack? It was like 2 packs.
Yeah.
It was a 3-pack
Yeah,
bundle.
Yeah.
But the 1 pack was like flabby. You know, it was like $18 at CVS or
Yes.
Dwayne Reed. Yeah,
Damn,
that was my jam, man.
Yeah, the throwback right there. In terms of like quitting like everything, I was like, you've been holding it strong for a while now.
You mentioned this in the article, but for those that aren't in the restaurant industry, there's like a whole subculture. Restaurant staff, restaurateurs, chefs going out to drink and everything afterwards.
Man, I mean, yes, it's
Yeah.
a real big part of the culture, and because once you finish work at like 12 a.m., like 1 a.m., like what else is there to do? It's
True.
a weekend, and you're with your team. You guys want to spend more time together and build a bond outside of work.
Exactly.
So where do you go? You go to the nearest bar right across the street.
That's actually kind of hard to take yourself away from that, right?
It's hard because there's a lot of peer pressure too. And you don't want to also seem like you're not down with the crew. If you don't want to hang out with the team, like they might look at you like, oh, he's not one of us kind of thing.
Yeah.
You get sucked into that, into that kind of
That culture.
environment and into that culture real often. Yeah.
I was gonna say also, there's been times where you're just slammed. This was a busy shift. The adrenaline, the stress, it all builds up. And the best relief is like, hey, let me just have a cold one.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you don't miss those nights of like waking up feeling like fucked up and
Not
like
at all.
being hungover and shit. I don't miss that. That's the one thing I kind of really don't like about this industry, I guess. The next day, you're like, oh God, the regret.
We always talk about Hangover Cure. Oh yeah, what's your Hangover Cure? Oh, Pedialyte, Shin Ramen. Oh, my bacon, egg, and cheese with ketchup and hot sauce.
Yeah.
My hangover cure is a pho. You know
yeah.
what the best cure to hangover is? No hangover. Just don't drink.
Have that one beer and get the fuck home.
Has that helped with the work stuff too? Have you seen direct correlations from you maybe being mentally more focused?
Yes, 100 times yes. I feel way more focused. I've been way more productive. I've been a better leader to my team.
Your mood.
I've been more present every day.
Right.
Not for myself, for Rebecca, for my team, for my family. I feel great. I feel really good. Like I'm tired. Like I'm tired right now. I'm tired because I haven't had a day off.
Right.
The physical limits.
But my energy level is still consistent. I can still be productive. Linji, we talked about this. We sleep better at night.
Yep.
Quality of sleep is better. I spend less money.
Less cab money.
I stopped. Yes, and I stopped having cravings.
Oh, the late night
Food
munchies and
cravings?
shit. The late night fucking munchies.
Yeah, like dude, I haven't had ramen in how long? I don't know how long now.
No way.
I don't ever crave like unhealthy stuff. Like I haven't had halal guys in such a long time.
Oh shit.
That's a good spot too.
So
Good recommendation.
So I think it's just led to just a healthier lifestyle. I think I was at one point. I think because of all the drinking and bad eating, I think I was pre-diabetic at one point. My triglyceride levels were very high. I had fatty liver. I had high blood pressure, so they had to put me on medication.
By the way, you do look a lot leaner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your face fucking leaned up.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's all because I stopped drinking. Because naturally, I just stopped having cravings for all this.
It's crazy how one thing just leads to so many other things, right? Because I constantly joke about it. It's kind of a shtick that we're going with.
Yes. People always ask like, how's you doing? I think he's managing. He's good.
But there are genuine positive physical. We were talking about before. I do genuinely get deeper, better sleep.
Linji always preaches about like how important the quality of sleep and the amount of sleep and having it consistent.
Yes. How many hours do you sleep a night?
I would say at least 7.
Okay.
At least 7.
Because of this podcast, speaking of like health and wellness, if you want to live a better, healthier life, start a podcast. Like, no joke.
Wait, so your health got better because you started a podcast?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Because he was more accountable to me.
Yo.
Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Now he actually doesn't go out when we have something the next day.
Let's say
Oh,
about
man.
life.
You're welcome, Ben.
Yo, man. You must be very proud of yourself.
I'm not just proud of myself. I'm just so glad, like we're doing this right now. It's amazing. It's been a great journey.
Okay, we've gone on like enough tangents right now. Let's try to get back on track before I gotta cut this 3-hour episode. At one point, you went to Hunter College to go to nursing,
Yes.
which is a very standard, safe career. Now, what crazy part of you decided to leave that wholesome, normal career and become a chef?
That's a very easy question to answer. I failed chemistry.
Is that really why?
That's really why. Chemistry was a prereq to get into the nursing program at Hunter.
I had the same obstacle. Yeah. But please, enlighten
Dude,
us.
I
This is crazy.
studied my ass off, all-nighters, and I walked out of my exam feeling so confident.
Yeah.
And I failed miserably. So I said, you know what? This is not for me. What am I doing?
Oh my God. I had the same issue. I kept failing it. It was chemistry only.
I guess for how this thing turned out, it's a good thing that you failed that chemistry class.
Yeah, I think it was bound to happen, you know?
Prior to actually the nursing thing, you never actually thought about being a chef?
Never.
Never. How'd you get hooked into it then?
So I got into it because I moved out of my parents' house in Long Island for college, for Hunter College. My dad told me if I wanted to move out, you got to get a job and pay your own rent. So he hooked me up with a job at a Japanese ramen shop that his church friend owned here in East Village. So that's how I got started. I'm, a young kid, doesn't know anything. I've never really cooked before in my life. But it was fun for me. Honestly, it was fun for me because it was fast paced and I was like strong. I was like lifting. I was like really strong then. So I can carry up 8 boxes of noodles and all the chefs were so happy. Like, oh, Jay, go down and go get it. They're like, all right, I got it. I'm the youngest kid. Like,
Oh, yes. You could do all the heavy grunt work.
so yeah, when I failed chemistry, I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me try this. This is fun. It doesn't feel like work. In retrospect, I think I made a good decision because it was a sacrifice though, because cooking, you don't really make money cooking. Line cooking,
That's true.
it's a sacrifice. You work long hours. It's stressful, but it's like an investment. You're investing time for yourself so that one day you can be an executive chef at like a good company or own your own small business or...
I guess that's kind of like the goal, right? The big dream. One day I hope to aspire to being a chef, and then eventually like maybe I'll own my own restaurant.
Is that the goal for most chefs though? Like, is it like
so.
two different paths? Someone that just wants to clock in, clock out, and then someone else that wants to take that path and do something more risky and have their own restaurant?
Yeah, it's kind of like divided into two types of chefs. One wants stability and like benefit
Pretty
stability, like low risk kind of thing. But then the other group of chefs will want to venture out and take a risk and make a name for themselves and, you know, open up a business.
I think it's crazy too how you mentioned opening up a Nowon, right? It was in the midst of the pandemic. Not only is it fucking insanely challenging
As
running
is
a
already.
business, and now you got to throw in, oh yeah, we just have like a global pandemic hitting us right now.
When we opened, we didn't have our beer and wine license then. And I had a decision to make. Do I delay the opening and wait for my beer and wine license so I can open up with food and drinks like together? Or do I open with food only with like, you know, soft beverages and mocktails just to maintain the momentum? And I decided to open just with food with soft beverages because I didn't want to lose the momentum.
Right.
Yeah.
And what that meant for me, I knew I was going to lose money because in restaurant business, they say people come for the food, but the drinks is what pays the bills. So I was losing money from the moment I opened, and then pandemic hit, just had to shut down. So it was really hard. Nobody knew how long we were going to be closed for.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be 2 weeks tops, honestly.
When you look back on it, it all makes sense. But like in the moment, I remember thinking, oh, we're all going to rewind, do something, and then go back to normal life.
Oh man, yeah.
Nobody knew.
So have you actually been fully open since all this happened?
No. Well, I'm fully open now, but there's still restrictions such
course.
as like checking vaccinations and things like that. Also, I closed for a month from March, like mid-March to mid-April when pandemic first hit in 2020, and I couldn't sit. You know, I'm an immigrant. You know, I never got handed anything. I had to work for everything I
Every
have.
dollar, yeah.
So I couldn't sit alone at home. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna wait till the government bails me out. I'm gonna just go out and just try. So I decided to reopen just doing takeouts, cooking for charities and organizations, and just found like different streams of revenue, such as creating more merch for the restaurant, jarred chili oil that people can buy, to-go cocktails like made with soju.
You had some of like your menus where it was catered for like picnics and stuff like that too as well.
Yeah.
Picnic packs. Yeah. So I just constantly just kept pushing, just finding ways to just pivot and just keep it going.
So it was a lot of pivoting.
It was a lot.
Thinking on your feet probably too.
Yeah. But honestly though, looking back now, pandemic saved me though.
How so?
It saved me because it was a failing business model when I first had it open.
Okay.
Because my labor was high, my food cost was high. We weren't open 7 days. I just wanted to be open 6 days. Like I was like creating restrictions and like creating systems too early on, thinking I knew more than I did. And I was losing money every month. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, I don't think I would have lasted more than like 3 months.
Because you would probably have
After
kept
that.
that same model going.
Yeah. But pandemic forced me to take a step back and reassess the business model. Like, all right, so I've been given a second chance now. So how do I improve what I had? Do I make tweaks and figure out ways how to make things work? Now I have a chance, an opportunity to build up again slowly, and it's not a rush. Before opening Nowon, like when I was opening Nowon, from the pop-up to Nowon, everything was like go,
Yeah,
go.
rush.
So now I was able to take things a little slower and take things step by step. And yeah, I think it ultimately saved me.
That's actually kind of crazy because most people hit the pandemic and you just hear the opposite. It destroyed the business. They had to close, couldn't keep up with anything. They couldn't, like you said, pivot and change and react to what was happening. But for you, it was genuinely the complete opposite.
It really was. I mean, at the time, I thought it was a bad thing. But then with time, I slowly started to realize, like, wait, this is an opportunity. You can always see the bad thing and everything, but it's really important to see the good things and see the bigger vision and not to be so stuck on the small picture, you know?
Yeah. Man, that's some motivating stuff right there. The challenges you had to overcome opening the restaurant, because we know a lot of places that didn't make it.
This may be a dumb question, but do you feel comfortable where you are right now with the restaurant?
Very comfortable. No, well, it's not comfort. I'm confident. I want to do more. I was complacent at one point last year. And then after the New Year's, I'm like, all right, it's time to build. Let's not stop
What's the
here.
next move?
Yeah.
Do you have something you've been like up to, something new you're trying to do?
Aside from the podcast?
Aside from the podcast, I'm slowly looking into a second location.
Oh shit! Congratulations, you know.
Well, don't congratulate me yet. You know what I mean?
knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. I trademarked the name Nowon last year. My ultimate goal is to open more Nowons across the U.S., not just limited to New York, but different cities of the U.S., such as Miami or L.A., Chicago. Or,
Wow.
Yeah. So,
West Coast, California, I assume, of course.
Fuck yeah, man.
yeah. So that's my ultimate goal, and I'm not going to stop until I do that. Yeah.
LA, K-Town, maybe.
Is there a difference in mentality with, I guess, expanding the same type of restaurant as opposed to like creating something different?
I think it's easier to expand something of the same, like a same concept.
Yeah.
As long as it's a proven concept,
It's
a healthy
consistent.
P&L, and you know that it can do well in other different parts of the U.S. with similar types of demographic. So I think it's easier to do that. I mean, one example is Morimoto. He opened up Momo-san, which is a casual ramen izakaya. He opened one near Grand Central in New York City, and now it's in Seattle, it's in Boston. So
He saw it did well here and just copy pasted somewhere else, right?
exactly, yeah. So it's easier you have a blueprint of how many staff you need. You have a blueprint of the food cost, more or less, it's a plug and play kind of thing. And it's not as easy as that sounds, but it's much easier than creating a whole new concept.
Over and over again.
Yeah, it's that's hard,
That's kind of tough because I guess, let's say hypothetically, someone in New York comes to your restaurant a lot and they're looking for some variety from you specifically. How do you kind of express yourself that way?
Like different variety. I mean, our menu changes here pretty frequently. Our staples stay, but every season we do something new. Not even just with food, with drinks too.
Especially now because you got the full license.
Yeah. So every season we try to create something a little different just to keep our creative juices flowing. That way when the same guests come back, they can order something that's new and try something that's different. Yeah.
I still remember even when you did like some of those pop-ups.
Oh yeah, so that's another way I stay creative. I do pop-ups. For example, last year, May, Cinco de Mayo, I did a taco pop-up with
cool.
the flavors of Nowon. And then 2 winters ago, last winter? Or last
You
winter
got
or
your
the
years
winter
all mixed
before?
up now, man.
I don't even know what date it is today, but
What year are we in?
is this real life?
Yes.
During this Christmas time leading up to like Christmas, I did a Feast of the Seven Fishes pop-up, finding ways to just be creative and do something different.
By the way, yeah, your burger is fucking phenomenal.
Yo, I want to talk about that for a little bit because you are a Korean American chef. It's funny that one of your mainstays is that kimchi burger.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
All right, so in 2019, I did a 6-month pop-up at Black Emperor Bar in East Village.
Yep.
They're no longer open now, but they closed during the pandemic. But I went in there, and one of the owners asked me to come in and can you commit to 6 months? You pay rent, you keep all the food revenue, so it was an opportunity for me to do my food and to have a consistent place, residency, right, if you will. And I just made a menu that fit that bar's atmosphere. They were like Japanese
Dive bar,
like dive bar.
kind of, yeah.
Because when I go to American bars or pubs, I love a burger. I'll always get tots. I always get chicken wings.
Yes.
Like these are the things that I always get. So I'm like, okay, let me just take these 3 dishes, but put a Korean twist on them and just have like maybe 8 to 10 items on the menu and just serve that.
I like that.
So when I did that, I created kimchi mayo. I'm like, okay, I'm Korean. I make kimchi. I make kimchi
You
here.
ferment
at
it
Nowon
yourself?
Too. Yeah, we
For real?
make we
It
make
makes
it here.
good.
Where's the hole in the ground? No? This is how kimchi is made? Yo, for those that don't know, clearly I am not the Korean one here. I'm sandwiched between 2 Korean guys. So I'm asking these questions on behalf of the non-Koreans out there.
For
Can you make kimchi without a hole in the ground? This is
Yeah,
a
of course you
legit
can.
question.
Yes, you can. So yeah, I mean, so I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna make a kimchi mayo because I love mayo. I'm a fat boy at heart. I love like creamy dressings.
Yep.
I love like fatty steaks, and I want my fingers to get a little, like
Oh,
messy.
yeah.
I want to,
that grease. You
finger
need that
licking
grease.
good. I made the kimchi mayo burgers there, and then for 2 months I wasn't doing well because the bar was brand new. I was brand new. No one knew who we were.
Oh, so people were coming for the bar and then staying for the food, but because no one was coming for the bar, you had no one to stay
It
for
just
the food.
didn't have traction.
Yeah, because they didn't do any PR. They were brand new. We opened the same day. No one knew who they were. Obviously, no one knew who I was. And for 2 months, I was paying like thousands of dollars in rent just to use their kitchen, and I was losing money. And I didn't have a lot of savings at all either. It came to a point where I had to sell my Panerai watch just so I had a few $1,000s to pay the next month's
Dang.
rent.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I sold that watch, I went to Diamond District. I paid like $8,000 for it. I sold it for like 3.
Shit.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
uncut gem shit right there.
because I just needed 1 month. I was like, you know what? I just need 1 more month of rent. If this fails, then at least I know I tried.
Wow, man.
But as soon as I sold that watch, a week later, an article comes out from Gothamist. And the title of the article was, the food review was, Random Bar in East Village serving one of New York City's greatest burger.
I read that.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
When that came out, my inbox just started flooding. People were like, yo, oh my God, Jay, like what the And I was like, when I saw it, for like a split second, I was a little like disappointed because
How so?
Yeah.
well, because I'm like, I trained all these years as a chef in New York
I see
City,
where you're gonna go with this. Yeah.
and I'm getting known for a fucking burger.
Ego amigo.
Yes,
Ego amigo.
for a split second. And then I thought to myself, burger's been around for so many years, hundreds of years, and I don't know the history of burgers, but been around for many, many years in the US. And I made a burger that they want to talk about.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing. A simple burger, but I put a spin on it where people wanted to really eat and try. So
It's creamy, has that spice, you know, all that juice. You have a chicken sandwich too.
yeah, I remember KFC.
Yo,
Popeyes
shout out
Day.
KFC.
KFC right here.
Yo, man, yeah, I mean, this guy's a fry master.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right here. Our executive sous chef from KFC, Lin Ji.
Do you guys remember there was like this fried chicken sandwich craze? It was like Popeyes and Wendy's, like chicken sandwich was like the craze.
Yeah. They were like beefing on
Everyone's-
social
yeah.
media.
Everyone starts making the reviews and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, okay, well, guess what? Like I know Korea's known for fried chicken. We do it very well. But the difference with our fried chicken is that we glaze our chicken in like a sweet gochujang glaze or like a soy garlic glaze. It's what we do. This is what we do. So I said, okay, I'm going to make a chicken sandwich, but I'm going to glaze it in gochujang glaze. I'm going to put soy pickle jalapenos.
Yeah.
I'm going to put scallions
Woo.
with sesame QP mayo, crushed peanuts, Parmesan cheese on it. I'm going to sell this. And it just stayed on. People loved it.
I have always said, and as a part owner of KFC, this sounds kind of weird, but I have always said like Korean fried chicken, God tier.
Lin Ji has like a
My last meal would be like a cheeseburger.
Oh,
Probably like a second to third would be Korean fried chicken.
wow.
I fucking love Korean fried chicken. And this is just me ranting about alcohol again, but I used to just love eating Korean fried chicken and having
Beer?
a bottle of soju.
Oh, soju?
yeah,
What
yeah,
the-
yeah. No.
yo. Lin Ji could drink and he loves soju.
Oh my God,
Lin Ji
fucking
loves
God.
soju. Yo, you saw his eyes. He had to
Yo,
collect himself.
Korean fried chicken and soju? What the fuck?
But I have said this multiple times on this podcast. Soju is like the best bang for your buck. Don't hate on soju.
You should be the ambassador.
I do want to touch base on this. Social media, news, stuff like that. It's such an integral part of a restaurant and a chef's success nowadays. How big of a part does that have to do with not just your success, but I guess the industry in general?
It helps a lot. Like Instagram was probably the biggest tool that helped my pop-up to opening Nowon. My fiance was my girlfriend at the time. She's an influencer.
Yes.
So
Do you feel weird saying that?
no, not at all.
He's a little shy.
I mean, a little shy, but she's an influencer.
By the way, Jay was recently engaged, so as a married man, you have my deepest condolences. It's fine. It's fine. You were saying?
Good luck.
Oh man.
He's like, oh shit.
Maybe.
Shit got
Oh,
real.
yeah, that's funny.
Yo, Jay,
Got real.
for once, Jay has no
Shit
idea
got
what the hell
real.
to say.
Yeah.
She's not
Anyways,
going to
yeah.
listen to this, so it's fine.
Yeah, let's cut that part out. Anyway.
No, that's fine. That's me saying it. It's all good.
Yeah.
That's me saying it.
Oh man. Wait, what were we talking about?
Social media,
media.
how important and how much of a factor it is.
Very important because that's how the audience stays updated with what the restaurant's doing. Like, for example, we're creating a special tonight. Who's going to know about it unless we
Exactly.
post about it and people see it on Instagram? Like,
You're not gonna go to like the fucking New York Post, but hey, read all about it.
so yeah, it's a really big part. I think it's a big part of every restaurant. It's a good thing.
Speaking of social media, you're pretty seamless when it comes to doing that kind of stuff, pumping out like the marketing. Like you're really good at marketing your brand.
It used to be my fiance Rebecca, but now Archer, my social media manager
Gotcha.
/ videographer, photographer, he does it all. I only tell him when I create new dishes, hey Archer, can you take a photo of this? Hey, next week I'm gonna do this, and he'll take photos of it and he'll just promote it, when he thinks it's best.
Is that how the whole like Vice thing even happened, or like Munchies, like they saw you marketing the brand and they're like,
Yeah, I'm curious.
Oh.
Did they just see you like, yo, dude, I love your tats, and fucking like
No.
at a bar or some shit, and you just start talking like, what happened? Yo, you know Munchies?
Well,
You a chef?
okay, so I think this is what happened. I think my pop-up was really successful, and when I opened Nowon, I was getting a lot of publicity. Everyone was writing about it, and then Vice Munchies Faraday's she's like the culinary lead, producer / she does everything there, and she asked me to come in to do like I think it was a test run. It was for like just
Audition.
like an Instagram, so she wanted to see how I performed on camera. She didn't tell me it was a test run, but it was like
It was a test without telling you it's a test.
exactly. And then I filmed that, and then she called me back right before the pandemic happened. They're like, "Hey, can you come back and now let's shoot that."
But like a full segment.
A full segment. So and then after that, the video got some views, I guess, and she called me back to do another thing. And I don't know, they just kept calling me back. So
Well, that's always good. I remember I first saw your face was on Munchies.
oh wow,
It's kind of strange how like people that are not in the restaurant industry like myself, we get, unfortunately or fortunately, get a lot of our stuff from social media. Do you think in some ways it's also a detriment? And what I mean by that is Yelp culture.
everyone's entitled to their own opinion, right? But it's pretty common that industry professionals don't like Yelpers.
I've heard.
I think it's like battle of two egos kind of thing.
That's a good way of putting it. Yep.
Because the industry, you know, the hospitality professionals like, oh, this is what we do for a living. You don't know this more than we do.
Yeah.
You don't know food like we do. You don't know. And then the Yelpers are like, well, I eat around all the time and I know. Yeah, I'm in Yelp Elite, all these things. And so it's like they feel entitled. They feel like they have some ego to them too. And then
100%. Yeah.
it's like battle of two egos. Me personally, I don't really care. Like I rarely engage in arguments with people that say that we have some guests here that say they didn't have a good time.
Right, exactly. It's not crazy to assume sometimes, hey, maybe we didn't deliver, proper service to this one guest.
Or it's
It
just
does
like,
happen.
that person's preferences. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It
Can't
does.
expect everyone to come in the door to have a good time.
You can't please everyone. I respond to good feedback. I'll say, hey, thanks so much. I hope to see you again soon. I respond to bad feedback. Like one guest said, oh, the food was salty, everything was kind of cool. Hey, thanks for your feedback. We're continually trying to make our food more consistent.
Yeah, that's
and
constructive
better.
criticism.
We would love for you to welcome you back in the future. We'd love to see you. And I promise the food will be better.
Yeah,
things
exactly.
like that. And I'll also say that. And it took me a lot to get there because I used to take things a lot more personally. But I realized honestly, I'm not cooking for myself, man. What am I, yes, a part of me is cooking to tell my story, but honestly, it's for the people that's coming in to eat. If they enjoy it, that's really important to me.
That's true too, yeah.
If they don't enjoy it, I can't take that personally. I need to find a way okay, what did they not like? Okay, is that something I can do to fix, or was that just their personal preference?
Is this, am I having a bad day? Are they having a bad day? Is this constructive? Is this like a legit feedback that I'm like, oh, we do have to address this, this step of service maybe.
That's like a hard balance to find, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, legitimacy.
And you just have to accept the fact that you can't please everyone. Like, for example, one guest was like, oh, the food was good, the drinks were good, but it was too loud. And
Right. No, it's true. Some of these reviews have nothing to do with the actual food, the service. They'll be like, oh, the air here is just thick.
The weather that day was so
Yeah.
cold, I just couldn't enjoy my thing.
These light bulbs are so warm. They're not bright. It's ridiculous, some of these things.
so I'm not going to turn down the music for one guest and ruin the vibe for all the other guests. It's the East Village weekend. You need to have some music at an appropriate level where it feels.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you got to accept some of that too. So
Speaking of all this, if you could give yourself some advice, is there something you wish you could have done or told yourself that you wish you could have changed?
no, there's no advice I would tell him because
Everything happens for a reason.
everything happens for a reason. And I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't go through all that myself. I think everyone grows and matures at their own pace when they have to mature in their life. So, I think I went through it at the perfect time where I had to go through it. So,
Since now you're the executive dishwasher,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people come to you for advice. Aspiring chefs, do you have a mantra that you always kind of believe and try to spread the word about?
what I would tell any aspiring young chefs and young cooks is that don't cook for the wrong reasons.
What's a wrong reason?
Yeah.
You want the fame. You want to look cool. So it's like, hey, you should cook and be a chef. If you want to serve others, being a chef is not. It's leading your team, but then you're ultimately there to serve the guests.
Do you think it's a new wave where before there was no such thing as
It has to
celebrity?
be. Yeah, exactly.
But
That's the thing.
now it's like a celebrity kind of thing.
I think that's cool, but it's also bad double-edged sword because that really feeds an ego. You think you're way more important than you actually are.
Yeah, I've seen my fair share of chefs where it's like, dude, are you doing this for your passion or are you just doing this
Because when you were coming up, there wasn't much of a celebrity chef culture, right?
Not so much. Well, Anthony Bourdain, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
I read his book, Kitchen Confidential,
Love the book too.
which inspired me to become a chef. But hearing about his story, like it sounded like he was just going through adversity and always finding like a way like to push forward. And I love that perseverance in his story that I wanted to be a chef. I think I related with it when I moved here as a kid and I had to like find my ways to fit in and push forward. As I moved around a lot too, so I always had to adapt, and just hearing his story in the book really made me want to go with it as a profession. So yeah, I think ultimately celebrity chef, it's like a good thing and a bad thing. I'm doing the media stuff now. I mean, I'm in a few videos, but I'm not really doing it for like honestly my own fame. I'm doing it to really just promote the restaurant.
100%. Yeah.
Hopefully it
share your story, your background.
Yeah, if it ultimately brings in more people through our doors, it's good for me, it's good for the staff, it's good for everything else. So, and if it helps me to open my second restaurant so I can be in a different city and do the same thing, great,
Or we'll be there.
I have to carry this 40-pound backpack through the terminal.
We're just gonna show up like, yo, we're hungry. Jay said we could just pop in and eat. We're just gonna put our mics and shit on the side.
Is there like a subculture among, for lack of a better word, among you more famous celebrity chefs? Because I'm so curious, not actually being in the industry, what that relationship is with you and John Doe, who's maybe doing like the same rounds in like the same media areas.
Yo, it's like LeBron James, Steph Curry shit.
For the most part, there's definitely support, I would say, at least with the circle of chefs that I'm in. There's definitely some jealousy I can see in some people's eyes. You don't openly say it, but I can.
They're drinking the haterade.
Yeah, so I don't really engage in that, and just trying to like live my life and not really engage in things like that. Yeah,
Have the side blinders on and just keep fucking trucking.
Unlike sports, someone else's success does not necessarily translate to you losing in some way.
Yeah, one reason why I kind of took a break from social media recently is because I was watching everyone's highlights. Like my friends were opening a second restaurant and doing all these things, and me being competitive by nature, like I felt like putting all this pressure on me to
you're
do
comparing
all these things. I thought it was a necessary time to do it because I don't think that was jealousy per se, but I think it was just like maybe a little bit of envy or maybe a little bit of just comparison. So I just went on a social media detox. I stopped I just deleted the apps off my phone for over 2 weeks.
Social media can be really toxic and people don't even realize. That's why I don't have the TikTok, because I know myself, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be trapped on that, stuck on it. I know people that just stay on it for hours.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that you did. You probably feel a lot better right now.
Way happier.
Yeah.
I went from
more sleep.
Yeah, I have an iPhone and it tells you like how many hours you spent. It cut down by 2 hours per day, just deleting social media off my phone.
Picture yourself for 2 more hours each day staring at your phone.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, you're a dad, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure, I mean, I'm not a dad, but I'm sure you hear it from parents all the time. There's not enough time of the day. But if you quit social media, you'll gain 2 more hours per day.
That's 14 hours a week.
14 hours a week. Dude, that's so much time.
So much time that you could be doing something much more productive.
Dude, I read a book and in 2 weeks, I read 1 book.
You're like, holy shit.
Dude, I read a book. I read maybe 4 books in my life. You know what I mean? Kitchen Confidential was one of them.
Say that's definitely one of them.
Dude, I haven't read many books.
Goosebumps and shit.
Yeah.
Your personal life. We talked a lot about you chefing around, you dishwashing around. What else do you like to do on a personal basis that's non-food related?
Well, I love to jog now, and I like to spend time with my fiance.
Oh.
I like to eat together.
We'll keep this part in.
Yeah. Well,
That's a good save.
thank you. Linji, he knows what's up. Highlight this part. Put this in the beginning and then middle and end.
Just put it on loop.
Whenever I can, I like to spend time with my family, her family. Yeah, it's really important to me, so.
That's a struggle sometimes with chefs, right? Or people in the restaurant industry find that work-life balance.
Yeah, I mean, work-life balance is very rare in this industry, I would say, especially for like the higher you move up in the chain. Once you become a manager, you're working more, substantially more. You become a chef, on a salary, you work substantially more. So finding time to balance out your days off or your time off with things that matter to you, that's where it gets tough because you don't really get alone time, I don't have alone time. My fiance works at home. I wake up, When I'm not home, that's her alone time. You know what I mean? But when I
But
come
you
here,
don't
I
have
have to
that.
be someone's boss. Like,
You have to wear many hats.
so the only alone time I get, I'm like, okay, I need alone time. What can I do? Jog. And even if it's 10, 15 minutes,
That's
that
a
alone time
something.
to me, it really recharges me. It's nice. It feels nice.
Me and Lindsay were getting coffee before we shot this or aired this episode, and there was a homeless guy. I thought he worked for the fucking coffee shop, and I engaged conversation. Hey, how you doing? Blah blah. He's like, hey, yeah, man. What did he say again?
Can you help me out?
Can you help me? I was like, oh fuck, I got trapped. So I was like, okay, we go inside. We're getting the coffee. Me and Lindsay are like, oh, you know what? Let's get him something. So we got the orange banana bread. Is it good, by the way?
It's good. I'm eating the bread right now.
All right, thank you, chef.
Jay's not homeless, but he's eating bread.
Yes, thank you, Jay. So while he's waiting for the coffee, I go out and give it to him. Say, hey, here you go, brother. I was like, oh, no, man. You got a cigarette? And I'm like, this motherfucker. I was like, God damn.
Typical downtown,
Yes.
East Village, Lower East Side.
That's New York right there in a nutshell. So,
They don't even try to hide it. They just want.
but he apologized. He's like, yo, my bad. I just
Yeah.
want a cigarette.
If he said that from the start, I wouldn't be judging at all.
That's what I was saying to you. I was like, bro, you're standing in front of a fucking health juice store.
And you're asking to help you out.
Yeah, and
You're not
Yeah.
standing at the newsstand. the bodega and shit.
He needs a better business plan. He's,
yes. Speaking of like just going out, I know you love to eat. Do you have like your favorite spot at Chinatown in Koreatown?
We have this ongoing thing. Best places in K-Town, best places in Chinatown. But when I say Chinatown, there's various Chinatowns. So
yeah.
you can get your pick.
I recently went to eat at a new restaurant in Chinatown. Fell in love with. Loved it. Love it. They're already popping now, so it's not like I'm giving away a secret. Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou.
That sounds really familiar.
Mulberry Street.
What's the big draw there?
Family style. It's a Cantonese restaurant, I believe. Peking duck. They're known for garlic fried chicken. Super delicious.
Linji loves anything with fucking garlic.
Just give me like a whole clove of garlic.
For real, this guy.
I went there last week or 2 weekends ago for my sister-in-law's birthday, or future sister-in-law's birthday. It was like 11 of us, and we ate, and we ordered so much food. Lobster ifu noodles, walnut shrimp, pan-fried flounder, young chow fried rice, Peking duck. We had so much food, garlic fried chicken.
Well, it's like family style, so you gotta get a lot.
Yes, exactly. There was a Lazy Susan in the middle, and Uncle Lou was there. It's a BYOB spot. So when we went there, and it was Suzanne's birthday, and she goes there pretty regularly. So she told Uncle Lou, hey, he was there. Uncle Lou was there. He's like, Uncle Lou, it's my birthday. So he went out and bought Heineken and brought it for every one of us.
That's authentic right there.
That is.
Yeah. And then I just peeked at him. Every time I go to a restaurant, I just kind of, look around and see how they operate and see how the staff or how the owner is. And he was going over to different tables with the glass of wine in his hand and, drinking with the different tables. He was he lives that life. And it was really good to see. Uncle Lou's the man.
Is he like a big chef, let's say, and then he had a place?
He's just Uncle Lou. I don't know his story. I know who he is, but I don't know his story.
That's a good plug. We got to try it out, man. That sounds really...
What about K-Town?
Dude, K-Town, to be honest, I don't even go to K-Town anymore.
Minus the alcohol, it's...
Well, that too, but I live on 11th Street here. I never go beyond
you don't
11th
go up.
Street.
You don't go
I
higher.
rarely go
You're
up.
like in your own little bubble.
Yeah.
I stay in this area. I used to go to K-Town like once a week before, but I went to Jongro a lot, Karaoke City a lot, MK, Paekjung. But I don't know if you know this, Linji, but I worked in Chinatown for 2 years. I was the opening executive chef at Hotel 50 Bowery. So I fell in love with Chinatown. It was next level. I hope I don't get hate for this, but I love Chinatown more than I do Koreatown.
Nah, you're gonna get all the love in the world.
Yeah, fuck.
I mean, maybe a lot of Korean Americans or Koreans can just agree with me, but I think K-Town and 32nd Street is like getting washed out. It's more like chain, establishments coming in.
Less small mom and pop places.
Yeah, it's losing a lot of small mom and pop shops, which is, I think, was its character of
gritty,
Koreatown. Yeah,
gritty, immigrant story kind of stuff.
yeah. But you go to Chinatown, it's still more of a mom and pop shop community, which I love.
But even then, Chinatown is also struggling to try to keep that vibe right now.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Chinatown.
All right, guys, getting on to our favorite segment of the podcast, ranting and raving. We're gonna start off with you today, Jay.
Maybe just taking a break from alcohol or substance in general. I strongly recommend it. I'm not saying give it up forever, but just take a break. Give your body the chance to reset and reboot. I think it'll help you overall I had a lot of addictions.
Vices.
Yeah, like cigarettes was one of them. I quit that. Alcohol was one of them. I quit that. But I think for men, especially men, the biggest thing we struggle, our longest addiction, really common, is probably pornography.
Oh, I was like, is he gonna say porn? I was like, cause I feel a little attacked. No.
Most guys, this is probably the longest addiction that they're going through without even really realizing
And
it.
it's probably like the most easily accessible one too.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah, you can literally just grab it whenever you
Yeah.
want. For drinking, you have to be somewhere, you have to get it. Smoking, you have to buy it.
Yeah. One day I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop. I can't let my urges control me. You know what I mean? I need to overcome all the urges. So I stopped. I haven't watched
Respect.
porn and probably
like-
6 months.
It's
No,
like-
no lie, 6 months maybe. But and I'm mentioning this because I think it's a lot. It's something that a lot of us struggle with.
No, it's
lot
a
of
good
us-
thing
lot
to
of-
address, especially with the younger kids now. I don't want to sound too old. Before, we had to like hunt for porn, magazine, a Playboy or something.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, now it's like, oh shit, I have the fucking.
We have to use more imagination. With one photo,
We have to be creative.
like low quality photo, like in the Korean newspaper, like you go to the back.
Oh my
there was
God.
Like, there was like a girl with like a bra on. You're like, oh wow, I'm gonna take this and
Yo,
just
wow.
imagine. You
Ben
know?
just got
I just
transported
got-
like 20 years back then. I
Ben,
don't know
you
what
know
you're-
exactly what I'm talking
I do.
about.
I'm not gonna even fucking hide it. Yo, oh my god, I'm a pervert, bro. But going back to it,
My rant for today, I guess, is also genitalia involved.
Related?
Related
Okay.
in some
Okay.
way. My bladder control is really getting to shit. So whenever I go out now, I have to go to the toilet, empty my bladder. Am I safe to leave the house now? Do I not need to run to a bathroom in the next 5 minutes? And Jay, when I came here, first place I went to was the bathroom.
Yes, it was.
Last place I went to at home was the bathroom.
Yes,
What the fuck is happening with my bladder control?
we're just getting old now.
I definitely have. I relate to that very much. Rebecca always says like, oh, like you have weak bladder. Everyone knows that you have to go to the bathroom. Now I have a routine.
Oh,
I drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning. I drink a cup of water mixed with fiber powder. Now it matters a lot. Bowel, you know.
Yeah, we sound like a bunch of old men.
I know.
It's very important, you know. So after I drink 2 cups of water and 1 cup of fiber water, I pee 3 times after that in 30-minute
Wait, what?
increments.
Whoa! Hold on. 3 times in 30 minutes?
In 30-minute increments.
3?
3.
Down to a science.
Yo, is it like super? Yo, your piss is like. Is it the color of this water? It's like it's just water looking.
Yes.
And then like at
Yeah.
12:45, I make sure I poop.
I was like, if I don't,
If
I go
I
to
don't-
urgent care.
if I don't poop in the morning, it's not right.
It's not right.
Like-
You're like something's up.
Something's off.
Something's sus.
off.
Jay calls the restaurant.
So
Yo,
important-
guys, I
so-
can't come in today.
Yeah.
I haven't had my bowel movement yet.
Yeah.
Someone poisoned me. I know it.
What about you, Ben?
I guess I have to keep it genitalia related. You ever like have to go take a shit really bad, but you don't realize you gotta check if there's enough toilet paper? Have you ever had that?
No, but okay, go for it.
Oh, all right.
I always, if I have to go in public, which that rarely happens.
Yeah, but
I
if you
always
have-
check for toilet paper.
Because of your
first.
very set schedule at home, yes, of course.
I have. Yeah, I mean, for sure, you gotta make sure. You know.
Yeah, exactly. But sometimes you can't, and I didn't. But luckily, you know, when you finish the toilet paper, it has that brown thing.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck. You know, you're sitting there. I'm like,
So you scraped it off.
yes, chef. Yes, chef. Hi. I had to. I was like, oh fuck. God, give me strength. I had to pray. I was like, come on.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's not that bad. So any of you listeners out there, if you want a life hack, use the use the brown part of the toilet paper.
Oh man, this episode has taken a weird left turn. strange left turn.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
This was a culinary episode, right?
Oh yeah. Everyone lost their appetite.
I do want to say it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for having us in your space.
Mm-hmm.
We'll send you the bill for helping you unload that fridge later. No labor is free. We're running at a net loss right now for this business. It was a great pleasure talking to you today.
Likewise, man.
Yo,
Thanks
for
so
real.
much.
You want to tell the people on the internet how to find you if they're not in New York City?
Gang.
Yeah, guys, follow me on Instagram at yo.jaelee, spelled Jaelee, but also follow the restaurant, Nowon NYC, spelled NOWON.NYC. We're located in East Village, New York City. Follow us, come visit us, come say hi. We're open 7 days a week.
Come check it out.
Good shit.
If you guys want to see what we're up to, Ben and I are on every social media at the same exact handle, Worst Asian Pod.
All the time.
Go to www.worstasianpod.com. It'll link you to everything from there. Go down in the box below in Spotify, Apple. You click that 5-star review button.
Please.
Takes 2 seconds.
Yep.
We are running at a net loss right now, so whatever you can help to do with the algorithm, please do so.
Yes. For love of God. We'll put up I keep saying it well, we'll put up our Venmo QR codes up.
All right.
So scan and donate.
We'll catch you next week.
Love you guys. Be safe.
Bye.